So today we want to look at collaborative learning and how to harness students' interaction for deeper learning. The instructional use of small groups so that students work together to maximize their own and each other's learning is what we call collaborative learning. Now here, students tend to help each other to complete tasks that are designed for them to achieve a wide range of academic and social goals. And it therefore worth noting that unlike individual learning, which is usually very highly competitive, students learn cooperatively and make use of all members. Therefore, they harness each other's resources, skills, and exchange information, and they do so by evaluating each other's ideas and monitoring each other's contributions. So cooperative learning tend to use active learning principles as we know them. Students take part in group activities, learning activities that are aimed at analysis, synthesis, reflection, and thoughtful evaluation of content. So active learning tends to put heavy cognitive load on students, and it does need to put them at the center of the teaching learning milieu, process, as opposed to using the traditional lecture methods. Success in cooperative learning can, in fact, help students with metacognition, or what we know as learning how to learn, which is a very essential factor in sustainable assessment. So when you think about collaborative learning, we are thinking about understanding how we do work by and for ourselves rather than to each other. Cooperative learning or learning in groups is one of the latest exciting approaches discovered in the academic realm. There is convincing evidence beyond doubt that there is educational, vocational, as well as social benefits of cooperative learning, and immense ones for that matter. So in this kind of space, we devolve power from one person in the room and kind of distribute it more effectively. It's about co-creation and redistribution of power in the classroom, so that we shift the spotlight from the teacher and create a community of inquiry. Students, therefore, will be learning with each other, from each other, as fellow learners, without any implied authority, based on the tenet that these students tend to learn a great deal by explaining their ideas to their colleagues and by participating in activities in which they can learn from their peers. There are some benefits that are being listed as accruing from cooperative learning. One of them is improved academic achievement, deeper learning, improved interpersonal skills, and long-term retention of content that has been covered. We also are likely to experience more active involvement in learning and increased motivation to learn, because these learners are now actively hands-on involved in the teaching learning process. We may also be looking at increased responsibility of the students. They tend to own up their learning, and therefore there will be opportunity for feedback. They'll be able to give you meaningful, constructive feedback, which you can use as feed forward to improve instruction. But also, there is preparation for participative workforce environment, because there is indeed reality out there that workforce is very, very participative, so they can learn this upfront within the classroom setup. But also, will be maximizing on students' learning of highly complex and difficult materials, because they will be hearing it from multiple sources from their colleagues and reflecting on it from themselves, and of course seeking clarity from the teachers in those gray areas. But there will also be enhanced individual abilities to use knowledge, because at this stage now, we'll be allowing them to, problem solve and participate in conflict resolution and problem solving skills, which will kind of help them really be ready-made for the industry. But also, we got to learn and accept that there will be transfer of learning from one situation to another. And like we did mention, the development of higher order thinking skills, which is highly desirable. And there will also be improved intercultural understanding and acknowledgement of individual differences among the group members, and of course within the classroom, which is again a must-have skill in today's society. Now, we appreciate that the entire cooperative learning is premised on David and Roger Johnson 2009 suggestion that we need to have about 5 processes or pillars or building blocks for cooperative learning to succeed. One, there will be need for us to do kind of promotive interaction, preferably on face-to-face basis. Now, this means that group members will meet regularly to be able to discuss ideas and to establish a group rapport and relationships. The second principle will be that there should be positive interdependence, and by this I mean that in successful cooperative learning contexts, students themselves must feel that they need each other in order to complete group tasks, the kind of swim or sink together kind of mentality. But then there is also need for individual accountability, where group members must always feel that they are individually accountable for helping each other to complete tasks and master concepts and skills that are being fostered through this kind of work that is given to them. And number 4, the principle 4 is the principle of collaborative and interpersonal skills. Before even starting this kind of group work, there should have been enough space for them to learn how to effectively and efficiently and harmoniously work as group members. Finally, for this group work to be successful, cooperative learning to be successful, there is need for groups to sit and reflect and process, whether they are really, the loose ends and the low-hanging fruits that they can tap on. But above all, they should always meet and think about how well they are achieving their goals and whether they are maintaining effective working relationships among especially the group members. And this needs to be carried out throughout the life of the group. It should not just be done one-off or at the end of the group. To conclude this talk, I must remind us that employers out there tend to place great value on the soft behavioral skills rather than the hard cognitive skills that we tend to run after. So we really need to institutionalize these cooperative learning skill sets in our learners. And I'm well aware that learning is a social process that tends to occur through interpersonal interaction within a cooperative context. I hope I've been of service to you today. Thank you so much for being part of my audience.